Everything changes for Canadian seniors starting July 29th, 2026, and most people are going to find out about it from a smaller deposit or a bigger one, not from anyone actually explaining why. On that date, three separate things happen on the exact same payment. Your old age security goes up, your guaranteed income supplement gets completely recalculated using last year's tax return, and the income line that decides whether the government claws back your pension moves as well. One of these changes helps almost every senior in the country automatically. The other, sitting right at the end of this video, decides whether some of you keep thousands of dollars a year or quietly lose it without ever being told why. Stay with me to the end, because the last part is the one that costs people the most when they miss it. Here's what you're getting in the next few minutes. I'm going to walk you through exactly what the new OAS amount is, exactly what the new GIS amount is, and exactly where the new clawback threshold sits, in plain English, with real numbers. None of this is a sales pitch, and none of it is a guess. These are the government's own updated figures for your July payment, and my only job is making sure you understand what's landing in your account and why before it lands. I'm Jake Morrison. I've spent 15 years working inside Canada's retirement and benefit system, and the thing that frustrates me every single quarter is the same thing. The government adjusts these numbers like clockwork, but nobody sits seniors down and explains what actually changed and what it means for their specific situation. So that's what we're doing today. Before we get into the numbers, subscribe to this channel and tap the bell. These payment changes happen 4 times a year, quietly, and most seniors only notice something's different when the deposit looks off. I don't want that to be you. Subscribe now and let's get into it. Let's start with the one everyone will notice first, your actual OAS deposit. Old age security is adjusted every quarter based on the cost of living, and this July's adjustment is 1.2%, one of the larger bumps of the year. If you're between 65 and 74, your new maximum monthly OAS rises to roughly $751.97. If you're 75 or older, it climbs to approximately $827.17. You don't apply for this. You don't fill out a form. It is automatic, and it lands with your July 29th payment. The cost of not knowing this one is small but real, because if you're managing a tight monthly budget, not knowing your baseline income went up means you might keep underspending out of caution when you don't have to. Next is the guaranteed income supplement. And this is where people get caught off guard because GIS doesn't just go up with inflation like OAS does. Every July, Service Canada throws out your old GIS number completely and recalculates it from scratch using your income from the previous year's tax return. This July, that means your 2025 income is what decides your new GIS, not your 2026 income. The maximum GIS for a single senior is rising to approximately $1,123.17 a month. For couples where both partners receive full OAS, each spouse's maximum rises to roughly $676.10. Combined with OAS, a single senior with no other income could see a total deposit of close to $1,875 a month starting July 29th. Here's the catch. If your 2025 income was higher than your 2024 income, your GIS can shrink even while your OAS goes up. And if you didn't file your 2025 tax return, your GIS payment can simply stop, no warning phone call, no letter first. If you haven't filed yet, that is the single most urgent thing on this list. Now here's the one buried in the fine print that most seniors have never heard explained properly, the clawback threshold. If your income is high enough, the government takes back part of your OAS pension, and that threshold also resets every July. Starting with this payment, the clawback is calculated using your 2025 net income, and the new minimum threshold for the July 2026 to June 2027 period is $93,454. Above that line, the government claws back 15 cents of your OAS for every extra dollar you earned. Full OAS is gone entirely once your income hits roughly $152,062 if you're 65 to 74, or about $157,923 if you're 75 or older. If you had a big RRIF withdrawal, sold an investment property, or had any unusual income spike in 2025, this is the threshold that decides whether Service Canada is about to quietly reduce your pension for the next 12 months, and it won't ask your permission first. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. If this is all automatic anyway, why does it matter whether I understand it? Here's why. Automatic doesn't mean accurate for your situation, and it definitely doesn't mean someone's watching out for you. The system runs the calculation whether you understand it or not, and if it lands wrong because you didn't file on time or because you didn't realize a lump sum would push you over a threshold, nobody at Service Canada is calling to walk you through a fix. You find out months later staring at a smaller deposit. That's the whole reason this video exists. And we're not even finished yet because the part that actually costs people the most money is still coming. So here it is, the piece that matters more than any single dollar figure I've given you so far. The GIS recalculation and the clawback threshold are both driven entirely by your income from the year before, which means the income decisions you make right now, this year in 2026, are the ones quietly setting up what your July 2027 payment looks like. A large RRIF withdrawal today, a lump sum, even receiving too much taxable pension income without splitting it with a lower income spouse, can push you over a line you won't feel the pain from until a full year later. Most seniors have no idea the two are connected because the pain shows up so much later than the decision that caused it. If you take one thing from this entire video, it's this. Don't just look at your July deposit and feel relieved or confused. Look at your income this year because that number is already writing next July's check. So let's bring this together into something you can actually act on this week. Confirm your 2025 tax return was filed because a missing return can pause your GIS starting this month. Check your July 29th deposit against the new numbers, roughly $751.97 for OAS if you're 65 to 74, $827.17 if you're 75 or up, and know that GIS on top of that could push a single senior's total close to $1,875 a month. If your income jumped in 2025, understand your GIS may have shrunk even as OAS rose. Know the clawback threshold is now $93,454, and if you're anywhere close to that line, start thinking now about how your 2026 income affects your July 2027 payment, not just this one. And if you and your spouse haven't looked into pension income splitting to keep both of you under these thresholds, that conversation is worth having before the year is out. If this helped you understand what's actually happening to your payment this month, send it to another senior in your life, because I promise you there's someone who's going to open their bank app on July 29th confused about why the number looks different, and this explains it in 5 minutes. And subscribe, because these numbers change every single quarter, and I'll be back to break down exactly what moved and why. I'm Jake Morrison. Know your numbers before the government adjusts them for you, and I'll see you in the next one.